Hello readers, as suggested by the title, I have read Boy Meets Boy from one of my book hauls. And before I show any judgment towards the book, I just wanted to talk about the synopsis. So the main character is a guy named Paul, and he is a homosexual teenager. The thing with Paul is that he's lived all his life knowing that he is gay and there's something different about him, and he's also lived his life with acceptance and his parents accepting him. So he's kind of lived a very exceptional life as a gay teen. However, his friends and the people around him are a little more confused than Paul is. In meeting a new person in the town called Noah, also another gay teen, things start getting a little complicated for Paul. And so that is how the story kicks off. Now, if I had to rate this book, I would give it 5 out of 5 stars. I love this book so much, and for so many reasons. It was really well crafted, the characters were extremely likable, and really fleshed out, despite the fact that some of the characters didn't have a lot of screen time per se, but they still resonated with me. They still had this image in my mind of them. They were still very distinct, and they all had a purpose in the book, which is really great. And I also loved the town. The town was this really accepting place, and there's no bullying, there's no, homophobia or anything like that. And I sort of lived in that kind of town, because any sort of bullying or any sort of homophobia was kind of looked down upon. Of course, during my high school years, they would say a lot of kind of slightly homophobic things, but more out of ignorance than out of hatred. So I really related to this book a lot, and that brings me to the discussion section of this book, and I really wanted to focus on that. And whenever I finish a book, I really like to go on Goodreads and read any negative comments about the book, because it's really good perspective. It's really good to see, why this book could have been better, and why this book sort of did not resonate with certain people. And so I found a few interesting comments on Goodreads about this book. Most of them were about how this could be detrimental to the gay community, especially the gay young adult community. And they said it could be detrimental because of how fantasy-like this was written, because of how, nobody is getting beat up, no one is having, gay slurs directed at them as a form of hatred. There's no real violence in this book. And so it sort of takes on this escapist fantasy genre instead of being a realistic young adult. And my argument to that is that I think David Levithan's purpose for this book is to be fantasy-like. It's to be sort of unrealistic, to show that how it could be, how the world, each school could really be in respect to the LGBTQ community. And it brings me to another point about how this book is placed in a more utopia-like setting. In putting these characters in a utopia, I really didn't focus on how they were gay and how they were different. They were just normal kids living their lives, doing what they want to do whenever they want to do it, because there's really nothing holding them back. And so I really appreciated the characters and the relationships each character had. It was not dramatized to the point where I'm like, oh crap, I need to put this book down because it's just too much. Because, it could be dramatized. As well as I do, seeing the news and everything about gay teens and all that stuff. It's really tragic. But that's not what this book is about, for sure. So I really appreciated the setting, the characters, just everything about this book. It was 5 out of 5, well deserved, and I can't wait to read more things from David Levithan, because as you've seen from my first book haul, that I have a lot of books to read from him, and I'm super excited. Oh yes, I wanted to also talk about whether or not it's detrimental to the gay community, this book. I think it could be. Definitely it could be. We should really teach our children and students that they should not learn from fictitious stories. They should be more questioning and be more critical about their thinking and about, you know, all the information that is trying to get to them. No matter how much we should teach that and we should advocate that, people are still going to learn from fictitious stories, from media. And yes, I do think it might be a little bit detrimental. It might give people a moment to escape from their problems rather than facing them head on. But at the same time, I think it's a really progressive book, because I feel like a lot of gay teen novels are about bullying, are about, you know, the violence of being gay in certain areas. This book is about not personifying the violence, but personifying the people, because gay people are still people. They're not an entity, a straw man where, you know, social activists need to protect all the time. They're people, and they have stories. I hope I said that really well. I'm gonna have to edit a lot of pauses out of this because I'm just speaking out of my brains. So yeah, that's my 2 cents about it. Please leave a comment voicing your opinion about, you know, the genre of gay teen novels. I'm thinking of having a video specifically for LGBTQ books. I've read a few, and I do own a few that I have not read yet, and I would like to do a video sort of introducing them, because I think it is important. It is definitely important. We shouldn't live in an age where we live through voyeurism. We should definitely broaden our horizons and get out of our comfort zones and read things that we wouldn't necessarily read or be familiar with. So that is my review for Boy Meets Boy. And I think I'm going to do my book reviews like this more often, where I address the negative comments for these books and try to give my opinion about them. So I didn't give any spoilers, thank goodness for that. And have a nice day, you know? Have a nice day.